second, but first, Hornets and Hawks, and watch the high-flying dunk by John Collins. Rookie. Went all the way up, came all the way down.
Now, that's a great catch. A lot of times in the alley-oop in the NBA, we don't give the guys credit for the catch. Oh, my, what a great catch that was.
Because that wasn't that great of a throw. He threw it too high, and he went up and got it.
Same game, Dwight Howard, and he can still get up.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hey, Nick, this wasn't the highlight of this game. They played a video tribute to Dwight Howard. He played 1 year.
I know, and they didn't even like him. They didn't like him. He didn't like it there, and they gave him a video tribute. Dwight didn't even acknowledge it.
Hornets won that game. Check out this dunk by Ben Simmons.
Oh, yeah. That's my Rookie of the Year. CC has him 13th on his ballot because he can't shoot. But he can do that, CC.
You see, he jumped in the restricted area, so that's his range. Donovan Mitchell of Utah.
I'm finally learning that now, CC. And look at Jaylen Brown. Right over Kristaps. Rate that as a 5%.
Okay, Nick. Now that's being dunked on. That's right in your grill.
Hey, CC, some breaking news now. Unicorns now extinct. Take that, Kristaps. They ain't got that in Latvia.
It is Thursday, and the Gronk watch continues. Rob Gronkowski is still in concussion protocol 3 days before the Super Bowl. He did practice on a limited basis yesterday, and he did assure reporters that he would play on Sunday. But, Nick, is it time to consider alternate game plans should he be unavailable? And have the Patriots basically already started doing that?
Well, I'm sure they have. They've got a lot of contingencies in place for almost anyone, but particularly a player who's in the concussion protocol such as Gronk. But I do want to let America know, like, Gronk is, of all the non-quarterbacks in the sport, Gronk might be the single most impactful. He, Julio Jones, maybe you'd include Von Miller. Like, he is on the very short list of non-quarterbacks that could be ruled out for a game and move the point spread by a point, which most players can't do. And what he does for Tom Brady. In the playoffs over the last 4 years, CC, when Gronk's on the field, Brady gets the ball out of his hands in less than 2.4 seconds. That's an elite timing. When Gronk's not on the field, Brady is exactly league average on how long he holds on to the football. For a team with the pass rush that Philadelphia has, even plays Gronk doesn't catch the football, he's wildly impactful. If he's not able to play, that is an enormous loss for New England.
It's a huge loss, Nick. You bring up some good points, especially as far as Brady and how much he likes Gronk. Gronk is the best tight end in football. He's one of 2 tight ends that had over 1,000 yards this season, him and Kelsey with Kansas City. He's one of the best tight ends that we've seen in the NFL, you know, in quite some years. He's a special player. He's also special not only because he's a wide receiver, but he can get deep down the field. He's also a dynamic red zone receiver. He's their best receiver in the red zone because he's the only one that has a mismatch and can play outside or play inside. Tom loves throwing to big guys. I told you guys about the conversation that I had with Tom, and he wishes New England had more big receivers. But the thing where New England is going to missing is the end of the line blocking. Like, people don't realize what a great blocker he is. So if Gronk is not full speed, and because he's missed all this time and he's still limited, and it's Thursday at the Super Bowl, watch to see if Gronk gets hit in the game if he gets dinged, because he would be easy to be pulled out of this game, especially how long he's been in the protocol. So that's something I'm going to watch. Whose roles change if Gronk can't play? Now, we know New England has a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D or E if they have to go to it. But Dion Lewis, former Philadelphia Eagles, no success there. Watch him coming out of the backfield matched up against the Eagles linebackers. Brandon Cooks, the receiver, the biggest pickup they had this offseason from New Orleans. Him and Tom Brady are in sync. You can see the momentum he's created in the playoffs. And also, look for Tom to throw the ball deep to Brandon Cook, at least 3 or 4 big shots down the field. So Dion Lewis, Brandon Cooks, these guys, if Gronk is out of the game or if he's limited, they play a bigger role, Nick, in how the Patriots try to get it done.
And I'll ask this to both of you guys. How does this affect, you mentioned it, you touched upon it, this is someone that Tom feels so comfortable with, and he goes his go-to guy, especially when he knows he needs yards. Without him in there, does that affect Tom Brady any more than just, oh, it would have been nice to have him? I mean, does that impact him in a bigger way?
It affects him. He adjusts. It does affect him, though, because anytime you lose a great player, it's hard to replace that productivity. But what Tom will do, he will go to his plan B, and that's typically going to one of his slot receivers. We know all along, Julian Edelman, that's his favorite guy. It's probably his favorite Patriot right now on the team. He's not playing. Danny Amendola comes up big like he did in AFC Championship game. If Gronk is not available, Amendola, he can only play in the slot. As a wide receiver, he cannot play outside. He's too slow and he's too small. So he comes into the slot and becomes the primary target in the Patriots offense, replacing some of that productivity that Gronk gave them.
Well, and the other aspect that Gronk, and you've talked about this a lot, and it cannot be overstated in a game against a team with as good of a defensive line as the Eagles have, which is what Gronk does for you in the running game. This year in games with Gronk, the Patriots are averaging nearly 120 yards per game rushing. Without him, they're under 70. Now, it's a very small sample size, but it's still noteworthy. We have talked about the physical advantages the Eagles' defensive line has on the Patriots' offensive line. One of the ways they can neutralize that in the running game is by putting the man that you called their best offensive lineman, Rob Gronkowski, out on the edge. I mean, great job by our production staff here showing all these times where Gronk is the best player on the field where he doesn't touch the football, where he's out there clearing a path for his running backs who, while the Patriots have a good stable of running backs, they don't have one super elite player that's going to create his own holes. That just needs one little seam and he's going to go 40 yards. Gronk's been outstanding for them in that. So that is his level of impact as any great player, but also a guy who is on the short list of best ever at his position, is felt throughout the entire game plan. And we said yesterday that we would not be worried about Gronk not playing in this game unless he was not practicing by today. So he was limited yesterday. I am very curious to see when the Patriots practice today, what is Gronk's participation? Because if he is not a full participant today, we have to start talking about this game, keeping in mind Gronk might not be playing in it.
Right. One thing, too, we talked about the Patriot way before and how the Patriots have kind of gone a little bit off that with Tom Brady. One thing that's not noted a lot, Nick, you and I talk about it, Gronk, the Patriots treat him different. They let Gronk have more fun. Gronk does things to be able to energize the crowd and his teammates like only maybe Tom Brady can do. So let's not forget the big plays and the emotion that Gronk would bring in a big game like this, the Super Bowl. You miss that. He's kind of the wide receiver, kind of the Pied Piper for the Patriots because Belichick and them, they let him have some fun on the field.
All right, coming up, we'll take a break here. The Super Bowl isn't the only big event this weekend. CeCe talks about the Hall of Fame class. Next on First Things First.
CeCe, I need a late nomination.